I've saved up quite a bit. I'm Mary. I smirked as I looked at my phone. I just turned 29, married for 2 years and working full-time. Even though my coworkers think it's creepy, I can't stop smiling because finally, we're close to saving enough for our dream home. The bank balance displayed on my phone was near the goal. My husband John, whom I married after dating at work, and I don't have kids yet. We've been waiting to have kids until after building our home. I wanted to enjoy being single a bit longer, but John, being in his mid-30s, insisted. So we married when I was 27. Though we're in different departments, working at the same company as John feels awkward. Changing jobs would mean a pay cut, so I kept working. Now, we're one step away from buying our house. It's been a long journey. No major issues with John. Work is fine and savings are growing. Living a typical life. Marriage, work, saving for a home. I thought this ordinary life was my greatest happiness. But life isn't always smooth sailing. The main issue in our marriage is my in-laws. After work, I return to our small apartment. It's cramped for two, but we need to save for our house. The moment I open the door and see the shoes, my fatigue doubles. Oh no, she's here again. I sigh deeply inside. I'm home. Welcome back. You're late. The one who replied wasn't John. It was my mother-in-law, sitting heavily on our tiny sofa. Good evening. Why do you always come home at this hour? My in-laws live 3 subway stops away. Not far, but close enough, so my mother-in-law frequently visits our place. What about John's dinner when you come home so late? She always says something like this. No words of sympathy for my late work hours, just complaints. Sorry, work piled up. I'll prepare dinner right away. John is home early, even though you work at the same company. Aren't you an efficient marriage, though? We work at the same company. Our departments are entirely different. John's department rarely requires overtime, but his pay is low. My department is crucial to the company, filled with important tasks requiring overtime, but the pay is the highest in the company. I wish John would explain this, but his pride stops him. Now he's just sipping tea silently, being a dual-income household. John could help with the housework a bit more, yet John adamantly does nothing. No shopping, laundry, cleaning, or cooking. When I get home, he's either watching TV or on his phone, unaware. My meal keeps making snide comments. We already ate dinner with John. What? You already ate? Delicious steak. I treated John to a nice meal. I see the restaurant name startled. It's an expensive place. I was shocked but resigned since my meal paid. As I headed to the kitchen to make my own dinner, then my MIL stops me. Mary, I need a favor. I had a bad feeling. We're short this month. Can you help? Of course. My MIL often asks for money. This is ridiculous. She went to an expensive steak restaurant, right? Didn't you ask for money last month too? Despite being tight on money, I gave you $300 then, and before that too, and the time before that, and the time before that. Wanting to retort, I forced a smile. Sorry, we're also struggling this month. Aren't you helping your mill? What a cold deal. Who's really cold here? Not helping at home, leaving your wife alone to eat steak. Your son is the cold one. Finally, John spoke up. Mary, you're so stingy. Help Mom a little. But we're really tight this month. Oh well, Mom, I'll help you. Sighing, John took out his wallet and handed her $500. John, you're such a good boy, my pride and joy, unlike Mary. My MIL glared at me as I stood speechless and headed for the door. As she left, she turned to glare again. John, If you ever want to divorce this money-hungry wife, come back anytime. I'll think about it. She slammed the door. What was that? I turned to see John on the couch with his phone. I confronted him. Why did you give her $500? Use it for our household. I had a reason for saying this, though. John pays rent, that's all. Utilities, food, and miscellaneous expenses. I pay for everything simply because John refuses to pay. I pay rent. You want more? You're so greedy. He always refuses to pay more. I pay for everything else, including the phone in your hand. Of course you make more, but just a little more than you. We're scraping by with living expenses and saving. Oh, you can save, then you're fine. Hand it over. John reacted to my mention of savings and extended his hand. What's this for? I'm broke after giving Mom $500. Give me some cash. Are you kidding me? John keeps all the money for himself except for the rent, yet every month he tells me he's short on cash. He always says men have to entertain clients and socialize. So I've reluctantly given him money before, but today I'm not giving in so easily. If I give you money, it's like giving it to your mom. Why should I pay for you and your mom's dinners? It's good to be able to do something nice for my parents. What about me? Neither my Mill nor John ever thanks me. It's just a waste of my money. And what was that about considering divorce? It means what it says. If you're going to be so stingy, I have my options. With that, he stormed off to the bedroom, even locking the door for good measure. In our tiny apartment, there aren't many rooms. I had no choice but to sleep on the couch. After being shut out of the bedroom in these stressful days, my solace is looking at my bank balance. After my Mill came over with her demands and complaints, I opened my phone before starting overtime at work. I logged into my savings account from before I got married. I'm so close to getting a house, but then my eyes froze. What is this? I stood up with a loud noise, apologized profusely to my boss, and rushed home. John, are you here? What's up? You're home early today. John looked surprised. In front of him was a spread of what looked like very expensive steak, and it wasn't just him. Oh, welcome home, Mary. We're just having dinner. Both of my in-laws were there, not just my MIL, but my Phil too. What on earth is going on? What are you doing? We're eating steak, want some? Mary steak? Where did you get the money for this? Oh, we had a little windfall. John and my in-laws looked uneasy as I cornered them, refusing to let them escape. I grabbed John by the collar, and he reluctantly handed me something. It was the bank card for the account I had just checked online. What do you mean? How did you withdraw this money? I guessed your PIN and it worked. That's not the point. What made you think you could take my money without asking? The money I had been saving diligently since before I got married had been nearly wiped out without any remorse. John admitted to taking the money, laughing casually, which made my anger boil over. Shut up. We're married, remember? What's yours is mine. Don't be ridiculous. This is a savings. I've been building up since I was single. Give it back. What are you talking about? A wife's money is obviously her husband's money. How greedy you must be, saving up all this money while living off John. Exactly. You should be more grateful. Who do you think pays for everything? Unbelievable. Not a single person here was on my side. This is just like stealing. Give it back. Hey, who's the one being ridiculous now? The word stealing seemed to finally make John flinch. Annoyed, he said, "Did you forget I'm the one paying the rent here? Plus, I have to entertain clients and support my parents." That's right. John's a really good son, and you just save up all this money while I cover the rent. What a luxury. You only pay the rent. You hardly ever have to entertain clients, and you ask me for money to support your parents. Quiet. You came into this family, so you should listen to me and my parents. What? You should be grateful I haven't divorced you yet, you useless woman. Shouting this, John grabbed my arm and threw me out of the house. Hey, there's no steak for you. Go cool off outside. I never thought he'd actually kick me out. Stunned, I ended up staying at a hotel for the night. The next day, when I returned home, only John was there, relieved that his parents were gone. John handed me a piece of paper. It was a divorce form. John's section was already filled out. What is this? I asked. Listen, if you complain again, we'll get divorced immediately. If you don't want that, you'll obey me without question, and I'll manage your savings. John waved the bank card in front of me. Then he tried to leave. Where are you going? Out for a drink? Got a problem with that? Want a divorce? With a smug smile, John walked out. What an idiot. Does he really think threatening divorce will make me obedient? I had no love left for John anymore. And besides, does he think there's still money in the bank card John took? I'd already transferred all the money to another account. I always felt uneasy about keeping all my savings in one place. So I had multiple accounts. The bank card John had was just one of them. I filled out my section of the divorce form. What a fool. Leaving a signed divorce form was exactly what I wanted. I grabbed the notice and quickly packed my things to leave the house. After spending another night at a hotel, I took the day off work. The next day, as soon as the city office opened, I submitted the divorce notice. Then I headed straight to a real estate agency. Last night, while browsing on my phone in the hotel, I found a property that caught my eye. A newly built house near the station, perfect for commuting. It was almost love at first sight. The exterior and interior were nearly my ideal. I viewed the house and decided to buy it on the spot. From then on, things were hectic. Staying in a hotel until the move would be too expensive. So I explained my situation to a friend and stayed with them while preparing the new house. I had to get new furniture and handle various other tasks. With all the business, I completely forgot about John and my ex-in-laws. Hey, Mary. That's why I was shocked when John came to my department one day. Oh, right. We work at the same company. As he loudly called my name, everyone's eyes turned to us, but John didn't care and walked straight to me. Why haven't you been answering your phone? Oh, I didn't think it was necessary. I remembered John had been calling nonstop. I was busy and didn't want to deal with it, so I ignored him. You withdrew money from the account without permission, didn't you? Don't mess with me. And why haven't you come home? Do you really want a divorce? Oh, don't worry. We're already divorced, and that money is mine, so I can do whatever I want with it. He still thought threatening divorce would scare me. When I casually said this, John's face went blank with surprise. What a stupid face. It's funny. What divorce? Yeah, thanks for preparing the paperwork. I submitted it. What? I don't accept this. Doesn't matter. The divorce is finalized. Oh, and I've already informed the company, so the process is complete. You might need to take care of some things too, so let your boss know, okay? I turned my attention back to my computer, signaling the end of the conversation. I was busy. Divorce. Where are you living now? You left your stuff at home. I took what I needed. I'm fine. I'm living comfortably and bought new things. Where are you living? That's none of your business. It's a privacy matter. Please don't cry. John fell silent, feeling the stares of my colleagues and boss. He left the office without a word. My colleagues sympathized with me, saying, "Mary, you have it tough." Living in my new home was wonderful. The smell of a new house was incomparable, and it was spacious and comfortable. But since I had just moved in, there were still many things I needed. Today, I was expecting the delivery of some appliances I bought online. Just then, the intercom rang. "Oh, it's here," I thought and opened the door. I immediately regretted it. I cursed myself for not checking the intercom first. Standing outside was my ex-Mill. I was so surprised I blurted it out. Right behind her was my ex-Phil, and behind them was John. "It's been a while, Mary. I'm coming in." "Oh, wait just a second." Ignoring my attempt to stop her, my ex-Mill barged into the house, inspecting the place as if appraising it. "This is a nice place. Oh, and I like this furniture. Move it to my room, will you?" "What? There's more room, too." "This will be our room." "Oh, wait a minute. What are these curtains? They have terrible taste. I'll choose new ones. So give me some money. The yard is quite spacious. Maybe I'll start a garden." What on earth are they talking about? Confused, I look back at John. "John, what is be happy?" Just as I was about to demand an explanation, my ex-Mill interrupted. When I looked at her, she had a triumphant expression on her face. "It's not much of a house, but it's a decent gift for us. We'll move in since it's a two-family home." "What? Of course you'll do all the housework. We'll let you give us a $1,000 monthly allowance." What? What are they even saying? Are they aliens? I tilted my head in confusion. What do you even mean? I'm single now. My ex-Mill looked shocked. I was surprised too. "John, you didn't tell them?" "I don't accept it," John shouted, but the divorce was already finalized, whether he accepted it or not. We were complete strangers now. When I said that, my ex-Mill turned pale. "What are you doing? Are you abandoning us? My parents live in the countryside. I'm planning to bring them here soon." "Don't be ridiculous. This house is ours." "No, it's mine." What is she talking about? I bought this house with my savings and it's in my name. Then where are we supposed to live? That's not my problem. Apparently, they had sold their house. The deal was already done. They planned to live comfortably here with the money from the house sale and what they could squeeze out of me. What a horrifying plan. Anyway, I don't accept this. My ex-Mel kept arguing, but it didn't matter. We were already strangers, and this house was mine. "I don't accept it. Absolutely not." Shouting, my ex-Mel tore down the curtains in a fit of rage. "Hey, what are you? I don't need such tasteless things. This is my house, so I'll do as I please." "That's right. What's yours is mine. I don't accept the divorce, and my parents and I will live here too," John shouted. "Yeah, and this is my house too." Wow, things were really getting out of hand. Finally, I heard sirens. I had secretly called the police as soon as John and my ex-Mill forced their way into the house. The police had finally arrived. "Hey, what are you doing? We haven't done anything wrong." "Yes, if you're taking someone, it should be this woman." The three of them protested loudly, but it didn't matter. Entering someone else's house without permission is trespassing, and breaking someone else's property is vandalism. Apparently, these people didn't understand that. After a lot of shouting, they weren't arrested but were taken away by the police. It had been a completely chaotic day. Later on, even after being released by the police, John came back several times, demanding we get back together. He even started bothering me at work. So I reported it to my boss, who gave him a stern warning. Word about him using his wife's savings and barging into her new home spread around the office, and John was ostracized by everyone, leading him to quit his job. He seemed to have a breakdown and struggled to find new employment. My ex-in-laws, having sold their house, moved into the cheap apartment where John and I used to live. The old, poorly maintained house didn't sell for much. The three of them would have to scrape by on that money in the cramped apartment. Finally freed from everything, I now live a comfortable and carefree life in my new home. I asked my parents from the countryside if they wanted to live with me, but they said they weren't ready to move yet. So for now, I enjoy living alone. If I find a good partner, I might consider remarrying, but I'm in no rush. For now, I want to get a dog, something I couldn't do in the apartment. I also want to try gardening and have friends over for home parties. Looking at the blue sky from the window, I thought to myself, I want to continue to live happily by doing things that I have not been